वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपां बुद्धिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे what does it require to be a devotee or what does it require to understand Krishna consciousness? Mm, what does it require to actually understand becoming devotee is a bit later. First little bit say understanding Krishna consciousness. Na? What does it require to understand to know Krishna consciousness? And because in India, living India, it's a different cultural environment, different uh, different way of functioning. Now, living in Europe, it's a different cultural environment, different way of functioning, and somewhere different understanding of religion as well to some extent, by and large, although things overlap also, but still a bit of a different understanding of religion at a very broader level within Europe and Asia, and within Asia as well, in India and other parts of Asia, very different understandings, very different, culturally different. So, this question, what is it required to be a devotee? Again, before becoming a devotee, what is it required to understand Krishna consciousness? Uh, what does it require to kind of gain that inspiration in practicing Krishna consciousness? It does not require one to be a knower of Sanskrit. I don't know Sanskrit anyways. So, is it that one is a knower of Sanskrit? Then yes, he or she can be a devotee. Or well, if someone knows Sanskrit, then can they be a devotee? Can they be taken to be as devotees? What is the requirement to being a understanding Krishna consciousness? Let's say to begin with, and then required to be a devotee. So this is a question perhaps for all of us. What is required in understanding Krishna consciousness? Also, what is required in presenting Krishna consciousness? Huh? That in putting across someone to understand Krishna consciousness. So, does someone need to be a Sanskrit scholar or Sanskrit knower, not even scholar, Sanskrit knower to practice Krishna consciousness to understand? Does it require someone to be dressed any differently to begin with than what is say the normal dressing? Does it require someone to be head shaved, tilak, put on tilak, to know Krishna consciousness, to understand Krishna consciousness? What does it require someone to be a good musician in order to know Krishna consciousness, understand Krishna consciousness? Does it require someone to be a good cook so that he can offer bhoga, he can serve prasadam then uh, to know Krishna consciousness, to understand Krishna consciousness? What is it required? What is the best thing Arjuna has been doing so far in this dialogue of Bhagavad Gita? This is in literal sense. Literally, Lord Shri Krishna appeared uh, in this mortal world 5,000 odd years ago. He literally, in literal sense, he had this true, proper dialogue with Arjuna. So this is not some fairy tale, this is not some imagination, this is not some fiction happening. And this is not some symbolic event as well, or this is not some symbolism. Oh, actually, Krishna means this symbol or that symbol. No. So Krishna had this dialogue, proper dialogue with Arjuna 5,000 years ago, mm, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So a physical place which still exists. And he spoke Bhagavad Gita with Arjuna. He had this dialogue with Arjuna. And Krishna is not just all about Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So, what is the another way? What is the best Arjuna doing so far in this dialogue conversation with Krishna? Uh, what is it required to know or understand Krishna consciousness? And is Krishna consciousness, another question say, is Krishna consciousness spiritual life or life? Is Krishna consciousness spiritual life or just life? Uh, See, material life, we say we need not say because, oh, is Krishna consciousness material life? No. Well, it's a spiritual activity, it is a spiritual life. But see, this Krishna consciousness, it has to become life only, proper life, not like material life and spiritual life. This is very dangerous duality to live in, tremendously dangerous duality to live in, tremendously split personality to live in. Oh, 9 to 5 is my office hours, it's my material life. Before 9 a.m. morning hours is my spiritual life. And just before going to bed also is a bit of my spiritual life. If we, those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, and surely they must be practicing properly. And this is I'm trying to help myself understand and educate myself. I'm in no way teacher, and don't want to take this label as well as of a teacher say. But practicing Krishna consciousness, I wouldn't want to be living in this category of material life and spiritual life. Life is life, life is one. For a sadhaka, he should take that like, yes, life is one, and this is my best shot, this is my best opportunity. Never ever have I come across this opportunity, even in this present life, even before, say, while practicing Krishna consciousness on this very day. If I had a trouble with my mother, with my father, with my spouse, say a husband, wife, children, a big argument, but still, this is my best opportunity because I'm still existing and I've been exposed to Krishna consciousness. Mm, Not existing, I'm still say living and I've been exposed to Krishna consciousness. So this is my best opportunity. This is the golden opportunity right there in front of my hands. And now I have to decide what is stopping me from going to the full run, say. What is holding me back? What is stopping me? So, coming back to the original, say, what is it required for someone to understand Krishna consciousness? If one finds some inspiration, inclination, this I am a bit, say, applying some sort of my material calculation. But if one finds a bit of an interest, uh, in the understanding of Krishna consciousness, understands, then further more inclination put it into practice, and then know Krishna consciousness, and then become a devotee. No? So, what is it required to being a devotee? Another slightly different way. What is the best thing Arjuna doing so far? The best thing Arjuna doing so far is he's listening to Krishna. He's listening. One great quality is to be able to listen. Many times in conversation, see telephone conversation or face to face conversation, we try to listen, and yeah, we are listening at the same time we are filtering in our heads. Lots of filtering going on, and we struggle to do very unrestricted listening, very unbiased listening. No, we do put a lot of filters in, and as we are listening, we many a times go with our preconceived notions or what our samskars, some impressions pull us through altogether. And when say listening, we just wait for an opportunity when the other person stops and I respond, I reply. And doesn't matter what he's saying. I may not be directly responding or replying to him. I already have framed what I want to reply. I just want him to stop or not even stop, make a pause. And in parliament, they don't even wait for that. They don't even wait for the person to stop or pause. No, it's like talking at the same time. That's such a even and that's not a human quality. Talking at the same time. No, what do dogs do? They bark, right? And they bark at the same time. How have you come into my streets? One dog barks to the other dog. Is not how? Why have you come to my street? Well, this is my street and all. And the big dog tries to show power strength to the small dog and all. So it befits the dog, okay. But like when humans, we try to talk over each other, we try to cut, we don't have that much of patience, let the other person finish or stop. Of course, sometimes we need to interrupt, That is also required to maintain the sanctity of the, say, the meeting or the talk. Uh, but at least at human level, it is understandable, appreciated, uh, say globally, that at least let the person first speak through complete and then we speak. So what is Arjuna doing? He's listening. Arjuna is nowhere cutting Krishna, Krishna is nowhere cutting Arjuna. Both are giving each other the fair time, the fair chance, the fair uh, time chance to continue participate in this dialogue freely. Krishna is not at all going with this as kind of any notion. Okay, let me speak this, let me speak that way. No, Krishna is not at all doing people pleasing talk to look good or to sound good or to appear good. What does makeup mean? Makeup means that to make me appear good, to make me appear look pretty, to make me appear look beautiful. Is it not? Make it up, make up, no? To make me appear look pretty. Previously, without makeup, one could still be pretty, one could still be beautiful. mm, But makeup means what? Enhance the beauty. And Krishna is not doing any dialogue with Arjuna to make him look good, to make him sound good, to make him appear good. No. He's speaking the absolute reality. Well, Krishna speaks the reality. Krishna is the absolute truth. He's the uh, uh, embodiment of absolute reality. Is the embodiment of absolute truth. Srimad Bhagavatam starts with that Janmadi Asya Yata Ved Vyasji. In the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam starts with that fact that Krishna is the absolute truth, the Sammam Bonam. Krishna is the absolute source of all enjoyment, all rasas. No? Just like uh, you make a hill of sugar, say sugar cubes. You make a hill of sugar cubes, a pyramid of sugar cubes. It looks like what? A pyramid, right? It's a pyramid or a hill, a triangle of sugar cubes. But one knows, okay, this is all sugar cube, all assembled together, brought together and given this shape. Likewise, Krishna from toe to head is all absolute truth, absolute reality, absolute source of all enjoyment. So Krishna doesn't need to do any sort of people pleasing. No, not at all. So he's not doing any sort of makeup or PR work for himself or anything of that sort. He's speaking. Now, someone may ask, is Krishna speaking from his heart or his mind? See, another question. Is Krishna speaking from his heart or his mind to Arjuna? What do you say? Every human being, especially one who is born in India, it's a shame, sheer shame, if someone born in India and doesn't go through Bhagavad Gita cover to cover in association of devotees. Such a spoil of life, such a real spoiler. Someone, especially born in the land of India, doesn't take this opportunity of studying Bhagavad Gita. Wow. Such a the most biggest violence or crime one could be committing to oneself, depriving of such a treasure. So, is Krishna speaking from his heart or his mind? Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, right? Is Krishna speaking from his heart or his mind or from his intelligence? Is Arjuna receiving the message from his heart, from his mind, within his heart, within his mind, within his intelligence? What does it require to know Krishna consciousness? What does it require to understand Krishna consciousness? Okay, take this as a question during the course of our study. See if you have any thoughts to share, or otherwise, another day. Uh, do think of it. So, some questions. What does it require to understand Krishna consciousness? What is required? So, this requirement thing is a must. Wherever we go, you go for a child's admission in a school, uh, there's a requirement. Okay, can the child? There's like requirement is a must. So, what is it required for one to understand Krishna consciousness? To know Krishna consciousness, then to practice Krishna consciousness. What is it required to become a devotee? Also, somewhat, what is it required to pass on Krishna consciousness, to present Krishna consciousness? Uh, See, what is the best thing Arjuna doing in Bhagavad Gita? Listening. That's the tremendous best thing he's doing. But listening what? Not just barely listening, listening with faith. Furthermore, listening with willingness, listening with faith, not with doubt. No. Listening with attentive mind. Listening with not desiring to know the answers. Listening with not because he's having a stimulus, an intellectual or mental stimulus. Sometimes we go into some conversations, say politics wise, some computer programming, coding wise, some sports wise, some cultural wise, even in religious settings, different religions and religious settings. So we might go and we might find fascinated by some particular topic, and we may want to entertain going more into the discussion in that topic. Why? Because we feel some gratification, either sensual or mental or intellectual. Huh? Oh yeah, it is gratifying my ego. It's gratifying my ego heavily. I'm a proud Hindu. It boosts my ego. Yeah, I'm a proud this. It boosts my ego. Uh, So sometimes we go into that. Yeah, it boosts my sensual platform. It boosts my egoistic platform. It boosts my mental platform. It boosts my intellectual platform. When will we come to a stage wherein we say, yes, it boosts my soul platform, my spiritual identity platform altogether? We should do a favor to ourselves. By practicing Krishna consciousness, I'm not doing a favor to anyone else as such. Of course, further as we advance in the deeper and deeper understanding, the vision, the reality, the practice of Krishna consciousness, then yes, Krishna is waiting for us, waiting very much to have that relationship, to have that further, more exclusive, more direct, more exclusive, and not one off, eternal engagement with us. Not just one off, or not just a weekly or monthly or yearly or just Janmashtami, say, no. An eternal exchange with us. Are we ever intrigued by eternality? See, if we are not intrigued by eternality, then we are heavily restricting ourselves. Just this thing, eternity, does it really take away my, say, attention altogether? How much does it captivate my attention? So, Krishna speaking with Arjuna, na? And Arjuna's listening not with filtering, listening not with some assumptions. Many times we know, na, right? That, okay, I have a question and I know what you are going to say. Like many times before, my sister, na, Anuja, so she would tell me, okay, this is the thing. And straight away she would then say, oh, and I know what you are going to say. I know what answer you have. What will be your reply? But Arjuna is not having such a dialogue with Krishna. Arjuna is not telling, oh, Krishna, I know, but what you are going to say. No. Krishna is also not telling Arjuna that, yeah, I know, Arjuna. Now I tell you this, but you will come up with that question and all. No, so there's no like formulating going on, formulation. No. Arjuna is listening, but with faith. He's listening with deep attention. He's listening with not just for the sake of listening. So again, sometimes we listen for the sake of listening because it gives us sensual gratification. It gives us mental gratification, intellectual gratification, egoistic gratification. But Arjuna is not listening for getting that sort of gratification or to get any diverted temporary. No. Arjuna told Na Krishna that uh, what is good for me for eternal, share that wisdom. कार्पण्य दोषो पहता स्वभाव पृच्छामि त्वाम धर्म समूढ़ चेता यत् श्रेय Shan nishchitam bruhitan me. What is shreyas for me? Not just temporary good, not just good for this life, good for eternity. Yat shreyastan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste ham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I offer myself to you. The best thing Arjuna did is he offered himself to Krishna. That is the best. The best thing Arjuna been doing so far is his listening, and he's listening with faith, listening with attentive mind, not just to get away with some problems I have with my mother-in-law or father-in-law, or problems I have at work and all. No, not just okay, this gives me relaxation and peace, sort of. Not just for that, or not to divert, YouTube and many other such social media engagements. Most of them we use as there could be some terminology also for it. If you know, kindly share. But most of them we use it just to divert or distract ourselves. We find our distraction. We find this distraction helps us. So we just go, okay, let me watch some news for sometimes sports and all, so that I can get a bit away from the reality of life. And in when I'm in distraction, then again I can find my feet later on in the reality of life and go through the problems and ups and downs again. But Arjuna is not asking for that, and Krishna is not giving him that as well. No, no. Krishna is not giving him that. Arjuna is not asking for that. So hearing should not be this for just sort of some intellectual appeal. No. So is Krishna speaking from his heart, or is he speaking from his mind or intellect? Is Arjuna receiving the message from his heart, mind, or intellect? And how should we receive the message? What is the prerogative on our part? What is the role, responsibility on our part? And Bhagavad Gita is the ultimate philosophical textbook for sure, for sure. And there is no comparison, no comparison. There's no other philosophical textbook which comes closer to this dialogue, say. And what, see, na, uh, Arjuna, he's like, uh, he's practically dead. He's practically dead. And through this dialogue, Krishna motivated him, enthused him with so much of real encouragement, real motivation, that he is able to fight now. Now, sometimes we see, when someone is sent into war to fight, uh, soldiers, they are like they are given some sort of drugs or something to take and eat and all, so that they feel very enthused and motivated. And if they are beaten up also, they don't feel the physical pain of it, like it is seen, right? Sometimes people, those who go stealing in someone's house, they will go stealing in someone's house, still they will be uh, eating something or doing something, so that when got caught also, and if they are beaten, they won't feel the pain of it. So in that sense, uh, likewise, it's not like, okay, Arjuna, he has been drugged. Yes, he is. It's not like he has been drugged into some hallucination or imagination to make fight this fights. Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chitete Koriyakya. So hearing this sound vibration from Krishna, Arjuna had such a motivation, such a transformation. One of the most in Kali Yuga, na, one of the most difficult thing is, first of all, to stay motivated. Very difficult to stay motivated throughout, to stay inspired. Is it not? And then to help someone else stay motivated or inspired. Uh, and when it comes to help someone else motivated or stay inspired, we have all we have all we have is short term understandings. Okay, fine, go do gym, fine, go on YouTube, fine, do this, do that, and all, and just somehow navigate. But is life to navigate through problems? Is that what life is for? Uh, to deal with problems, to go through problems? Is that really what life is for? Okay, so Athato Brahma Jigyasana. This the Vedic life begins, or life begins when we inquire. And Krishna, we must have this much of faith for sure. This is the basic minimum faith that Krishna is also listening to us. Not just now, even before we started this meeting, Krishna was listening to us. And when we close this meeting, also Krishna will still be listening to us. Krishna was, Krishna is, and will be watching upon us. Yes. Krishna was, is, and will be there with us. So, human life begins with inquiry. And when we inquire into these higher realities of life, for again say, for someone it may appear like, okay, it's a very big higher reality of life. But, but for someone who's elevated in his consciousness, this is the basic, fundamental, say, inquiry of life. Basic, fundamental inquiry of life. Nonetheless, any inquiry pointed towards Krishna is very appreciated, respectable, commendable. And through this dialogue and study of Bhagavad Gita, uh, we are trying to make a proper inquiry into life's ultimate purpose, vision, goal, and uh, we want to remove any sort of barriers, any sort of, even say, cultural barriers, any sort of barriers on our way towards Krishna, on the path towards Krishna, on the path towards pure love, on the path towards the practice of pure devotional service. Uh, So, removing all those barriers, we pray that our inquiries, I'm sure if we are inquiring with integrity, mm, with meaning, with substance. Arjuna was listening with integrity, with meaning, with substance, not just for sake of enjoyment. He was listening because he was wanting an answer. He was listening because not just to know the answer. He was wanting an answer so deep that he wanted to change his life. He wanted a solution and he wanted then to act on the solution. So, if I also want to actually act on the solution, okay, with this mood prayer, we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, text 24 onwards. We'll see. तस्मादोमिति उदाहृत्य यज्ञदानतपक्रिया प्रवर्तन्ते विधानोक्ता सततं ब्रह्मवादिनाम्. Anuradha, if you can read translation purport. or Aishwarya retranslation purport. It is text 24, huh?
Okay. Translation. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with scriptural regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme. Purport. Om Tat Vishnoha Paramam Padam. The lotus feet of Vishnu are the supreme devotional platform. The performance of everything on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures the perfection of all activity.
Retranslation again.
Okay. Translation. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with the scriptural regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme.
Okay, let us read next also. Taditi anabhisandhaya फलं यज्ञतपक्रिया दानक्रियाश्च विविधा क्रियन्ते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः.
Translation.
Harsh, Harshari translation purport.
Without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. To be elevated to the spiritual position, one should not act for any material gain. To be elevated to the spiritual position, one should not act for any material gain. Acts should be performed for the ultimate gain of being transferred to the spiritual kingdom, back to home, back to Godhead.
So,
Without,
how was Arjuna listening? How was Krishna speaking? Was there any hidden agenda, any motive behind the listening, behind the talking? Okay, Harshari translation again.
yeah, without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement.
See the purport, fascinating, right? To be elevated to the spiritual position, one should not act for any material gain. Acts should be performed for the ultimate gain of being transferred to Golok Vrindavan. Uh, Acts should be performed. Dharma svanustita pumsa. uh, Vishwaksena kathasuya. Na utpadayat yadi ratim. Shram eva hi kevalam. You know, Shastras, such a noble language. So, Renas, bring this, I think, Shrimad Bhagavatam 1 to 13. We can check. I think it should be 1 to 13. Such a beautiful language, Shastras. They never speak in a low word. Like, they never, of course, nothing like derogatory, abusive, condescend, condescending, nothing foul, not that sort of language at all. Uh, So, what dharma svanustita pumsa विश्वक्सेन कथासु न उत्पादायत यदि रतिम श्रमेव हि केवलम. No, this is so try 8 number in this same 1 to 8. Dharma swanustita pumsam vishwaksena kathasuya. So we human beings we take a lot of pride in what? Yeah. Aishwarya, read the translation.
Yeah. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead.
That is our condition, a typical dharmic person's condition. Typical, na? He's like, uh, he's not atheist for sure, okay. धार्मिक है. So many na pandits in India say coming from Brahmana family, but very typical, very set na in their Brahman or in the dharmas and all. But na utpadayat yadi ratim. Rati means attraction or attachment. Shram
One
eva
second,
hi
I have a
kevalam.
query here. So,
Hmm.
if so, none of the jobs that we are doing, the 9 to 5 jobs, nothing will, like, only the ones which are in service to Lord will be the ones which will attract Krishna's attention, right? Otherwise, like, how does our job, the 9 to 5 job we do, or many people do, they won't be uh, attracting Krishna's attention or anything like serving God.
Okay, so this is your question, right?
Yes.
The answer to your question is a question. Hmm. And if you can help answer that question, then we can see. Arjuna, did he fight the war or not fight the war? He fought the war, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Where did he fight the war? Which temple did he fight the war? In which temple?
Not in any temple, at the battlefield.
Okay. Did he fight the war 9 to 5 or did he fight the war outside of 9 to 5? Say?
Yeah, not 9 to 5, like outside of 9 to 5.
Outside of 9 to 5? You mean
Like as
what?
in,
Night times?
in no, 9 to 5. Yeah, 9 to 5 only. But
Okay. Did he fight the war with bead, mala in his hand, with tilak, with something? How did he fight the war? Or
I guess
did he fought with bow and arrows?
bow and arrows, definitely. Yeah.
So this is your question, right? Like कि if I say a bit in Hindi कि हम 9 से 5 ऑफिस में काम करते हैं ना समझो ये जॉब बिजनेस एंड ऑल राइट
Mm-hmm.
नाउ how do we become Krishna conscious? By we are working for some company or some um, proprietorship, है ना, in whatever form or shape, like whatever our say business role is, huh? And then we get some money out of it. We use that money. What tax भी भरना है, family भी देखनी है, so much such things, na obligations and all. So and this is what okay 9 to 5 is what my material life. Hmm?
Exactly. That segregation comes then. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 to 7 is what my spiritual life. 6 a.m. I wake up. 6 to 7, do not disturb me, anyone, please. That's my time now. Okay, before anyone starts calling me, I go into my spiritual life. 6 to 7 is my spiritual life. Then 7 to say 9, I get myself ready. 9 to 5 is my material life. And then again, cooking and things and all. And before going to bed, again in my spiritual life, right?
Yeah.
Uh, देखो अर्जुना did not fight this war in any temple. कुरुक्षेत्र में युद्ध हुआ था ना. He fought
Right.
in the battlefield. Uh, then he did not. He was not throwing mantras at them. Was he reciting any mantras while fighting?
No.
Was he calling any mantras, throwing any mantras or slokas to them while fighting?
No, no.
Possibly, maybe to calls, might be saying some mantra to get some weapons, say.
Yeah.
Huh? But not definitely some shlokas or mantras, or he wasn't like, okay, doing. uh, See, it is not the external thing, it's more so what? The mood, the attitude, the understanding. Arjuna was clear who he is and whose he is. है ना? कौन है वो और किसका है वो?
Mm.
He knew who he is and whose he is. Arjuna knew, who am I obligated to? Who am I answerable to? Look, uh, see, this Krishna consciousness is like this only pretty much. In Vedic culture, a girl is given good training in the house. Hmm? Boy also, girl is given good training in the house. That in home affairs, how to cook and everything. And what? Okay, one day you will be of marriageable age and you will be married. And then in your home, everything in relation with your husband then, right? Who comes first? सास ससुर पहले या husband पहले? Who comes first? Mother-in-law, father-in-law, or first the husband?
Husband.
Ev- Everything then is in relation to the husband, right? But the girl, she's getting trained that, okay, how to cook, how to clean, how to wash, how to receive guests, how to deal in family relationships and all everything. And one day when you grow up, marriageable age, you will get married, and how to make a home proper, have family and further and everything. So this is the all training, and then everything in relation with a husband, right?
Mm.
Mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, everything then, but in relation with a husband. And the thing is what? Okay, to please the husband, say. Then why are that? Okay, this may sound a bit like ideal situation, na? But we live in Kali Yuga means hodgepodge. Kali Yuga means proper hodgepodge. To give an example, say in India, in big cities in India, there are traffic lights, right? Especially at
Yeah.
least in big cities in India and in many big busy streets, roads, there are traffic light, right? And the lights work also. They they work as well. They go from amber to green, red. They work, but still there is hodgepodge, is it not? Still in the traffic, there is hodgepodge. People coming and going from whichever direction and crossing and jumping the traffic lights, not following the proper traffic laws, right? So that is Kali Yuga. Although that that concept is there, hmm, but it's proper hodgepodge the way society functions and runs. Our social obligation, duties, responsibilities under Varnashrama Dharma, like married life, family life, single life, say, elderly life, Brahmana's role, Kshatriya's role, businessman, Vaishya's role, mercantile's role, Shudra's role, then Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyas ashram. It is that foundation or that scope and all is there, but because very of Kali Yuga, influence of Kali Yuga, everything pretty much very hodgepodge. Even still now, not so hodgepodge, but even though not so hodgepodge, still we feel the brunt of it. Wow, it's so hodgepodge. Do you see what I mean?
Understand. Yeah.
So even like say the traffic laws and the traffic lights. but still the way society functions, say, no one looks into it by and large, say, and jumps and crosses over and all. Uh, so likewise, even though in Kali Yuga that the thing is there, but because of the influence of Kali Yuga, our societal roles, responsibility, obligations are not there in the proper sense. This is why Kali Yuga, one best advantage of Kali Yuga, some best things of Kali Yuga is in Kali Yuga, you know, sinful reaction is given only when some sinful action is performed. Uh, like in police also they say, na, well, for thinking about crime there is no punishment. It is when actually you commit a crime, then we can charge a case against you. Unless until if it is in your head, if you are still planning, and if the planning is in subtle form, like it's in your head, it's not somewhere in written form and all, we cannot catch or do anything. You are just in your head planning and thinking. But once committed a crime, then only police can take an action same. So in Kali Yuga also, a sinful reaction is given only when a sinful activity is performed. When thinking of a sinful activity, no sinful reaction is given. But even thinks that of doing a good deed, hmm, one is not done, but even thinks of doing a good deed, then he receives a benefit for just for the thinking of it. So some great advantages of Kali Yuga. And especially the highest advantage is Kali Yuga lifespan is too short. Mm. So we can really get into the essence of it, the crux, the essence of life altogether. We can capsulate the if we can capsulate the essence of life, then what was kind of say deprived or could not be availed by the yogis in Satyuga, Dwapar, Treta Yuga, us heavily conditioned souls in Kali Yuga can make the best of it. Not best as in the ultimate of it, which actually is Radha Dasyam. Understanding Mahaprabhu. If we can understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can find our shelter at the divine lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Say. So, to your question, that we are stuck in our 9 to 5, mm, and what we do in 9 to 5, how is it any pleasing to Lord Krishna? Na? 9 to 5, I'm doing my office work, or I'm running a shop, or I'm looking after the house. How is it? So, Arjuna Baba, he also fought, na, and everything. But he knew through this dialogue of Bhagavad Gita that who he is and whose is he. Hmm? Then he fought, and this is why there was no sin incurred for Arjuna in fighting. No sin incurred. Rather, Krishna protected his Varnashram dharma, his duty as a warrior, as a fighter, and also his Atma dharma. Say this question, see this. Uh, so, doctor, one is a doctor. So, this is a question for all of us. One is a doctor. Another is a doctor devotee. And another is a devotee doctor. What would you prefer? Which is the best? Doctor, huh? Doctor devotee, devotee doctor. This is Ashwarya
Devotee
in line to
doctor,
your question. Huh?
devotee doctor.
Devotee doctor, okay. Harsha, Renas, Christian, Pip, others, any thought, Ashwarya?
Yeah, I
One
go for
is,
that, doctor.
okay, Renas.
Yeah, I'll agree that in my case, I guess devotee engineer maybe. But is there also an option as Devotee.
Okay, so we go with devotee doctor. Aishwarya?
I really don't like devotee doctor, but it okay, yeah, devotee
Okay,
doctor.
okay, fine. I will try to explain the question a bit more. See, one is a doctor doctor. Hmm.
Yeah.
Doctor meaning, okay, he externally, internally also doctor. He considers himself to be a doctor externally, he considers himself to be a doctor internally, as in his primary and secondary. His primary identity is also I'm a doctor, secondary identity also I'm a doctor. Hmm. Or main and uh, subordinate.
Mm.
Main identity also I'm a doctor, subordinate identity also I'm a doctor. Hmm. And that means completely material identity. That I'm not, I'm this body. We are so fixed up firmly. In theory, in India, every chunnu munnu, है ना? गली गली में हर रोनू सोनू, chunnu munnu, everyone will say, we are not this body, we are spirit soul. If you ask anyone to say something on religion or what are the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, yes, we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Good, at least we know this much. But this has to be lived and put into practice and furthermore. So, doctor is one who lives in this doctor consciousness. Externally, internally, main subordinate identity, main identity, primary identity, secondary identity, everything material based. That I am such and such. Then I am male, female, or I am Indian. I'm not denying, but these are not eternal identities. These are temporary, place based identities. There's so many doctors, before COVID or round after COVID time, they've changed their profession. They're no more doctors. They've become something else, maybe linked with medical profession, but still not doctors. They've stopped doing their doctor role as such, seeing patients in that light. No, they don't do that anymore. So how can that be one's permanent eternal identity, permanent identity for this life itself? Yeah? So doctor. Another is doctor devotee. Means what? Doctor first, devotee later. Mm. By and large, externally and internally more so. He's more identifying himself as a doctor. Okay, he's driven by say doctor mentality or stuck up in this doctor mentality. I'm a doctor. I need to treat patients, look into patients, and very attached and enamored, captivated by doctor things. What's going on in the medical world and doctor ways. But somewhere he realizes, oh, hang on, I'm a devotee. Hmm, Mala kahan pe? Where is Mala? Where is bead bag? Okay, let me do my 16 rounds for today. Where is my bead bag? Let me do my japa for today. I'm a devotee. But once japa done or say during daytime and all, I'm a doctor. More so doctor, and somewhere some kicks or somewhere some reminders has to be given directly, indirectly that actually hang on, I'm a devotee. So going in that, then devotee doctor. Devotee doctor meaning what? Okay, sorry, devotee doctor. Yes, devotee doctor meaning what? Main identity, real identity, uh, permanent or primary is what I'm a devotee. Then internally, I'm a devotee. Then externally, to put a face, to put a face in this world, to keep up a face, to interact and all. Oh, yes, I'm a doctor also. See this, this expression, I'm a doctor, and yes, I'm a devotee also. Hmm? Another expression, I'm a devotee, and oh, yes, I'm a doctor as well. Aishwarya, now you say, no? Um, I'm a actuary and I'm a devotee as well. Or I'm a devotee and I'm an actuary as well. कोई difference है क्या? Is there any difference?
Definitely. So the adjective we like, as in the profession we use first, we give more importance to that. That is more attached to our identity than the second one, like that.
Yes, yes. One of the thing is dharma means what, na? Identity, पहचान, existence, वजूद, है ना? See, religion, many things, na, because we stop studying scriptures. It's the most cruel thing we did to ourselves by stopping studying Bhagavad Gita. And then so much of, say, in India, so much of Western influence, we are still enamored heavily by the West. So much ideologies and things we have again taken up, which is very Vedic. And I'm not saying that everything of West is not is bad and everything of India is so good, but definitely we stopped studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and now what? We don't understand what does dharma mean, and we more understand what does religion mean. Give us something in English, it finds our attention a lot, or it finds generally for say so for India finds our attention a lot. Say anyway, so the dharma na, is like one's constitutional position, one's fundamental identity, fundamental existence position. That thing. And through this dialogue of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna realized this. Who I am and whose I am. अब ये देखो, see this in relation to your question. A mother for her child. huh? See, the child is newly born, 2-year old. Mother is working mother. And she is like, what consciousness does she live in? Even though at work and all, again, generally speaking, someone may not be living in that consciousness also, but say, working and all. But is she not always like thinking, I'm a mother first and an employee, say, later on? So it is what identity we are living in. Yeah? See, Bhagavad Gita had not been very practical had Arjuna not fought. Why would have we been studying Bhagavad Gita, say, if Arjuna towards the end did not fight? Huh? Krishna went through all of this dialogue and Arjuna did not fight. Why then? Huh? Say, Bhagavad Gita would not have been very practical if to whom is it is spoken? It is spoken to Arjuna, no? Who is a family man, who is a king, uh, who has so much of royal duties to perform, citizens and all of this. We are just barely we do 9 to 5. Batao, do we do 9 to 5 proper? Uh, Barely we do 9 to 5, and those who some of them actually do more than 9 to 5, and they do it with good concentration and attention and attachment. Uh, but most of the people, if I may say, within their 9 to 5, they're stuck with TikTok, or they're stuck with YouTube and Facebook and things and all. Arjuna, he was not stuck in that sense. He was doing more than 9 to 5, administrating administrative duties, royal duties, and everything. Uh, but he knew his identity, who he is and whose he is. Krishna wanted him to fight. This is in very essence, in moral. Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight. Krishna wanted this war to happen. Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight. So Arjuna fought, not to kill people. Arjuna did not fight for that. Arjuna did not fight to win the war. Another question. Did Arjuna fight to win the war or fought to fight the war? Did Krishna ask Arjuna to win the war or to fight the war?
Fight the war.
Krishna never asked Arjuna to win the war. He only told Arjuna, you have to fight the war. Arjuna fought the war, yes, wanting to win the war to please Krishna. But he was not hung up with the result, win or lose, no. Arjuna, when he, in acknowledgement, we'll see 18th chapter, when Arjuna acknowledged to Krishna, he said, he never said this to Krishna that, yes, I will win the war for you. No, never. What does Krishna expects from us? Not victory, no. Victory is in Krishna's hands, but a proper duty bound engagement. Hmm, that much Krishna expects. How can we be duty bound living in this world but have all our love towards Krishna? How can we do that? So, yeah, it's a coming to our real identity, understanding our identity. Hmm, dharma means what? One's constitutional position, one's real identity, understanding that. Arjuna realized that. So for him, there was no problem. He was not restricting himself 9 to 5. A mother who has just given birth to a baby, say, oh, child may be 1 year old, 2 year old. Mother, wherever she is, she knows she's a mother now. Everything is looking for the child, hmm, for that benefit of the child and like that. Mother is not hung up with that 9 to 5 sort of thing. Uh, Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight the war. Arjuna fought the war, not to kill people, not to send a message to Dhritarashtra or not to send a message to Duryodhan, uh, not to send a message to anyone else as such, mm, not to protect his vows as well. Uh, no, he fought the war with one intention, one motive, to please Krishna. Can I live with this motive, intention? What? Radha Krishna Prityarth. Whatever I do, whatever I think, whatever I say, it should please Krishna. It should please Guru Gaurang. If I can see, someone lives life in calculation of years. Hmm? Someone lives life in calculation of years, months, dates, hours, minutes, moments. Can I live life in converting or transforming those moments, days, months, years, hours, minutes in glorification of Radha Krishna, in appreciation, in acknowledging devotee association, what I've been blessed, what I've been made to come across. Can I live life like that? That Arjuna was that overwhelmed. He was that much in love with Krishna. Does this somewhat answer your question? So life is not just 9 to 5, no? We know we cannot live in this dual split personality, and practicing Krishna consciousness, we would want to come out of all of this personality. So yeah, when we take on the message of Mahaprabhu's, so Renas share Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela 1380. नाहं विप्रो न च नरपति नापि वैश्यो न शूद्रो नाहं वर्णी न च गृहपति नावनस्तो यतिर्वा किन्तु प्रोद्यान् निखिल परमानन्द पूर्णमृताब्धेर् गोपी भर्तो पदकमलयोर्दास दासानुदास. I think this it should be Chaitanya Chaitamrit Madhya Lila 1380. So once we are clear more with our identity, then we will be able to perform and function nicely. Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight. He never told Arjuna to win the war. He only said fight. Yeah, okay. Aishwarya, read translation.
Yeah. Translation. I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya or a Shudra, nor am I a Brahmachari, a householder, a Vanaprastha, or a sannyasi. I identify myself only as the servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He's like an ocean of nectar, and he is the cause of universal transcendental bliss. He's always existing with brilliance. Per-
The sansar, the world gives us designations. We cannot function without designations also. But never ever we take up this designation, which is our real identity. That Gopi Bharto Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. Gopi Bharto. Krishna, who is Krishna? Is the maintainer of the gopis, Gopi Bharto. Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. That is our identity. Das Dasa Anudasa identity. I'm a servant of the servant of the servant. And generally, with this servant saying das servant brings a bit of a negative connotation. Negative meaning a lower ranking or status in the material world, in the societal world, right? Ah, like in a company, CEO, oh, he makes the most money. He's the top guy. He's the big shot. He's the top person. And someone who is the lowest rank in the company makes the less gets the less salary, say. But that doesn't work like that in spiritual in Krishna consciousness. Das das no das na. So this is our real identity. See, see this thing. Prabhupada, na? Prabhupada referred to as Jagat Guru also, or we know this thing Jagat Guru. Uh, we all know this word Jagat Guru. Srila Prabhupada who transformed Krishna consciousness in the Western world and even in India as well. What does the word Jagat Guru mean? And I tell you something. Who can become a Jagat Guru? We all can become a Jagat Guru. Well, first of all, Guru is not a position one applies for. No. Prabhupada is the real Jagat Guru in the sense, or this is the Jagat Guru thing. One who never considers himself to be Guru, that is to begin with. Hmm. Then one who sees that I am here to serve. Huh? And serve where? Not just one particular community, not just one particular panth. Panth, na? What does panth mean in English? Sect, sect, na? Group, sect. cult, group, uh, a community, a category. So Prabhupada did not serve any particular panth or group or community or to please any particular group, panth or community. No, that is very sectarian view altogether, very materialistic view. That is materialistic dharma altogether. Jagat Guru is one who sees the universe as okay to serve the universe. So us as well, when we live by that consciousness that I'm here to serve, uh, I'm here to serve, servant of the Lord. So when we live like that, now I'm here to serve, add a bit more to it. Serve whom? Serve Vaishnavas, serve Krishna. That is the difference. In Nishkam service also, Nishkam Bhav Sevana, selfless service. But if that selfless service, if it is not done towards Krishna, then still it is not bhakti. Although selfless, but not done towards Krishna or Vaishnavas, it is not bhakti. Okay, let us read a bit more. 26, na? So, 17th chapter, text 26, 27. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha saditi etat prayujyate prasate karmani tatha सच्चब्दं पार्थयुज्यते यज्ञ तपसि दाने च स्थिति सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदार्थीयं सदिति एव विधीयते. Anuja, read translation purport. Renas, read translation purport.
Translation. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, and it is indicated by the word sat. The performer of such a sacrifice is also called sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O Son of Prita. Purport. The word prashate karmani, or prescribed duties, indicate that there are many activities prescribed in the Vedic literature which are purificatory processes, beginning from the time of conception up to the end of one's life. Such purificationary processes are adopted for the ultimate liberation of the living entity. In all such activities, it is recommended that one vibrate Om Tat Sat. The word Sad, Bhave, and Sadhu Bhave indicate the indi, um, indicate the transcendental situation. Acting in Krishna consciousness is called Sattva, and one who is fully conscious of the activities of Krishna consciousness is called a sadhu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.25, it is said that the transcendental subject matter becomes clear in the association with the devotees. The words used are satam prasanyagat. Without good association, one cannot achieve transcendental knowledge. When initiating a person of offering the sacred thread, one vibrates words Om Tat Sat. Similarly, in all kinds of performances of yajna, the object in the supreme Om Tat Sat. Yeah, the object is the supreme Om Tat Sat. The word Tad Artiyam further means offering service to anything which represents the supreme, including such a service as cooking and helping in the Lord's temple, or any other kind of work for broadcasting the glories of the Lord. These supreme words Om Tat Sat are thus used in many ways to perfect all activities and make everything complete. Translation. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such a sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice. Penance and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Pritha.
Maybe let us read next as well. अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असत् इति उच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रीत्य नो इह. Shall translation purport.
Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless, both in this life and the next. Anything done without the transcendental objective, whether it be sacrifice, charity, or penance, is useless. Therefore, in this verse, it is declared that such activities are abominable. Everything should be done for the Supreme in Krishna consciousness. Without such faith and without the proper guidance, there can never be any fruit. Without such faith and without the proper guidance, there can never be any fruit. In all the Vedic scriptures, faith in the Supreme is advised. In the pursuit of all Vedic instructions, the ultimate goal is the understanding of Krishna. No one can obtain success without following this principle. Therefore, the best course is to work from the very beginning in Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. That is the way to make everything successful. In the conditional state, people are attracted to worshipping demigods, ghosts, or yakshas like Kuvera. The mode of goodness is better than the modes of passion and ignorance, but one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. The mode of goodness is better than the modes of passion and ignorance, but one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. Although there is a process of gradual elevation, if one, by the association of pure devotees, takes directly to Krishna consciousness, that is the best way. And that is recommended in this chapter. To achieve success in this way, one must first find the proper spiritual master and receive training under his direction. Then one can achieve faith in the Supreme. When that faith matures in course of time, it is called love of God. This love is the ultimate goal of the living entities. One should therefore take to Krishna consciousness directly. That is the message of this 17th chapter. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the divisions of faith. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pritha, impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next.
Prabhupada's purports are amazing. They're very revolutionary. Whole Bhagavad Gita, everything is the entire Krishna consciousness is very revolutionary. Revolutionary again, why? Because we are living in conditioned state. So it is not our natural state. No, we are not living in our natural state. That is why revolutionary. But someone who is living in his natural state, no revolution. Was what to revolt, Baba? He was, is, and will be in his natural state. So Krishna, na, he was, is, and will be naturally the supreme personality of Godhead, the source of all of us. And through this dialogue of Bhagavad Gita, through this understanding and practice of Krishna consciousness, we can attain eternity. We can attain the divine darshan. Again, we are not after eternity. Our motive is what? Eternal engagement in the loving service of the divine couple. That is what our motivation should be. Motivation should not be oh छुटकारा हो जाए इस संसार से. It should not, the motivation should not be okay, I get free from this material world. That should be just a side effect or a side thing. Yeah, okay. As a result of practicing Krishna consciousness, as a result of practicing Krishna consciousness purely, one gets free from the pangs of this material world, free from birth, death, old age, and disease. As a result, a real thing is what? Attainment of service at the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. uh, Eternal engagement in the eternal pastimes with the eternal entourage, with the eternal associates of Krishna. That that one's identity, one's role. Dharma, na? Dharma means what? One's identity and one's nature, one's functioning. Water has its dharma. uh, Water has its functioning, its nature, its operational workings. Mm. So liquidity, and it quenches thirst. Now something could be liquid but does not really quench thirst. Water is irreplaceable. There's lemon, soda, whatnot, no? Fizzy drinks, uh, the soft drinks, hard drinks. But water is water, irreplaceable. Although other drinks are also liquid, but there's no comparison. Nothing like water. Nothing like pure water. Then another is water in condensed form is ice. So ice, which is what very concentrated form of water, say, but it is not water. So likewise, what is my real identity and what is my real nature? What is my real purpose, real aim in life? Through this dialogue of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna realized this, and it is an open question for all of us. When will we realize? Bhagavad Gita is a simple dialogue, simple text. It says now in translation, what is asat? Asat means temporary. Mm, Asat means temporary. So uh, anything done, say charity, work, whatever we do, anything done, but if it is not done with proper faith or not done with a motive view, inclination, understanding to please Guru and Gaurang, is asat then. It's temporary then. And temporary can never saturate us. Temporary can never give us any real joy. Temporary means what? Some temporary joy. So there are three things, na? Huh? Yeah, adharmic, dharmic, and param dharmic. So adharmic, like say atheist, uh, or one who is not at all religious, one who does not believe in religion and some religious principles, and or one who is very offending mental. Look, many people in this world are atheist, but they class or label themselves as atheist. But if you check with them, they are not atheists. Just because they have not come across a clear, proper, correct, real definition of religion, understanding of religion, and all, and that platform to practice. So they choose to be atheist. They choose to call themselves as atheist. But in heart and their functioning, they are not. They are not. Uh, Atheist is someone who has been exposed, who has been introduced, if not exposed, who have been introduced to religious texts, scriptures, whatever faith for that matter, say, and introduced, taught, discussed uh, everything, and yet chooses to deny the existence of God, yet chooses uh, to offend scriptures, yet chooses to offend devotees, yet chooses to offend spiritual practice. All of that, okay, yes, that's an atheist. In Kali Yuga, many of these are like hodgepodge and all, na? Many of this. But so adharmic, dharmic, and param dharmic. Now, dharmic person, na, one who is in religion, but now utpadayat yadiratim. Look, practice believer, but yet no attachment. Dharmic means what? Believer, uh, temple goer, church goer, mosque goer, one who goes to a place of worship, or one who practices in home, does some meditation and all, uh, japa, whatever could be the form of practice. Again, those can become a bit of a detail. Real thing is absorption. Real thing is absorption, but not yet found is absorption. Oh, then very difficult. Very difficult. See, Arjuna had to fight the war with real absorption. Did it not? With real attention. So, one who becomes Krishna conscious, he will know how to use his time, how to use his money, how to use relationships, uh, how to deal with everything very attentively, very nicely, how to present, how to conduct, furthermore, and everything. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments, or any clarifications, or any additions? So, this should haunt us. Who am I? Someone could be a doctor, and he's well okay with the doctor mentality, uh, at least in this life. And who am I? Mm, Am I someone again, doctor? Someone could be what? Doctor devotee or devotee doctor. Check this out. Mm, I'm a doctor, and yes, I'm a devotee as well. Or I'm a devotee, and yes, I'm a doctor as well. Where? Krishna na, is unassuming. What does unassuming mean? Unassuming is a very great quality. Unassuming means not judgmental, say. not judging, not judgmental, mm, not just thinking, okay, yes, this is how things will be. Unassuming means not very typical, say. Krishna did not assume that, oh, Arjuna, he will fight or he will not fight or any of this. No. Likewise, we should not, a spiritual practitioner, no, a devotee, he shouldn't be assuming, he should be unassuming. Of course, when we preach and all, we need to be discriminative, but yet not assuming, as in not write anyone off. Oh, she's no good, he's no good, he cannot be a devotee, he cannot be a devotee. What is it required? This is should a question for all of us. We are practicing Krishna consciousness, right? What is it required to be a devotee? What is it required to, again, be a devotee could be a bit like far thing. What is it required to understand Krishna consciousness, to know Krishna consciousness? What is the ask? Who can be a devotee? Who can? Someone who has been blessed with a human form of life can be a devotee. Definitely. Who can be a devotee? Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments?
Hare Krishna. So
Hare Krishna.
maybe like one person who can be a devotee, uh, it's very important to have that devotion, right? That's because I think the devotion is the one of the most important characteristics, right? Is that right?
Who can be a devotee? Faith. It begins with faith, na? So human form of life. Then who is a bit inquisitive, who is a bit open, who is a bit willing, means what? Who is trying to check his faith, who is trying to test. Faith everyone has. Faith everyone has. But that slight willingness, that slight openness, that slight trying, slight desire, slight inquisitiveness, which should be genuine, which should not be blocked with preconceived notions, ideas, or judgments and all. No, that much. And then one can check and see how far does one want to go then? How far? Otherwise, in so many restrictions already being imposed on a human form of life, how can one actually possibly be a devotee then? Does that somewhat follow in line with what you were saying, Renas?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, then I think we leave it here. We'll continue our study from tomorrow. Tomorrow we shall begin chapter 18. Thank you very much for your participation and kind encouragement. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.